His ears get cold, and then he's able to pump that blood through his body, and he cools off.
We have a love affair with elephants that maybe goes back to childhood when many of us grew up with Dr. Seuss books or Dumbo or Ice Age movies. But just look at them. That big trunk, that big nose, the big ears, the way they move. I think there's just something that we can't help but fall in love with.
Elephants have almost remarkable intelligence. Enduring family Bokoku, calm intelligence allows them to fly and sometimes unforgiving landscapes.
The tusks. Now you think, okay, so tusks are tusks. They're used for defense. They're used for sexual signaling, many different things like that. Scientifically, it's like a completely different thing. It's like a diary of the elephant's life. The tusk is a little bit like the incisors of rodents in that they continue to grow throughout the lifetime of the animal. And what that means is that you can sample the inside of a tusk at different points on the life cycle and see things like the following. In the case of a female, when in her life she was pregnant, because that leaves a signature on the tusk.
Maybe if you can come over my shoulder and I'll just look at it.
Dwarf elephant, is this cute or what?
What's the trunk for? Is it really like a hand, or is it just an extra long straw? What do they do with it? And the answer is practically anything and everything. It's like hands of humans in that sense, and we use them in all kinds of communication roles as well as just manipulation of objects.
Probably also baby elephants, they have hair. Yeah. They lose them when they go around. Of course, these are extinct. But since young elephants today still have their hair, so it's very likely that in the past, because these are the ice ages.
Oh my God.
And do you also see the end? This is the dwarf elephant. But the end.
Elephants can communicate in many different kinds of ways. Yes, they trumpet, yes, they make all kinds of vocalizations, but they can also emit what are called infrasound communications. It's called infrasound because it's below the register that humans can hear it, but the elephants can, so they communicate with one another by these sound waves that are actually transmitted through the ground. So it's a whole fascinating thing that nobody would ever have imagined, really.
Este es de los que cabía en la edad de hielo.
They had it on record.
No tiene ese tipo de...
We have an exhibition about elephants, past, present, and I think a bit future, to give people a sense of the historic species of elephants that are now extinct, but the three species that are living and their amazing adaptations, why they're important in the ecosystems they live in, how they behave and communicate with one another, and then even what is our role as humans in a world that's increasingly crowded and crowding elephants out of their habitats. It's just not easy being big. It's not easy to be a big animal. So we can visualize, really show you how much food, how much water does an elephant, an African savanna elephant, need every day. It's a lot. How they need to move around, and how, as humans take over more and more of the planet, we're really constraining them. So we are raising questions that I think all of us have to think about. How much do we want a future world where we still have elephants, and what do we need to do to ensure that they can survive?
This exhibit is going to be at the American Museum of Natural History for the better part of a year and a half. And what it is elephants, 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 from soup to nuts. What we're trying to do is introduce elephants in a way that wouldn't ordinarily occur to anybody, because in North America we have no experience with elephants. So a lot of their behavior, a lot of their anatomy, the way their minds work, all of these kinds of things are not known to anybody. That's why we call the show The Secret World of Elephants.